The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at jococommunityradio.com.
Me and my crew, although we made it well, we on top. We keep on pushing, bars are raising. We don't stop. No one can replicate the magic that we unlock. Cause we on top. Woo! Put your hands up in the air. 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 Put your hands up in the air.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Bombshell here on Joco Community Radio. I'm Tiffany Carlin with the Bombshell Lori Moore. Hello, Lori.
Hi.
We get to see each other again this week.
I know.
And we've been chatting in the back about some women's issues and getting caught up on some stuff. And it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And we've been having lots of different conversations about these issues on all of our shows here on Joco Community Radio and doing our part to share information. So we're going to have some real conversations about women's health and mental health and, all that fun stuff that can help you.
She's
So
the opposite. I have a big bun today, and and my hair's usually down, and you have the hair down and no bun.
it's kind of driving me a little crazy being this
I've been running
very flat.
I've been running around like crazy today, so it was time for me to come up here, and I had to go make another stop on the way, and I was like, I just can't even deal with it. So
But you look cute. You look really
It's a
good.
big old bun.
And if you're tuning in on the TuneIn Radio Network, thank you guys for joining us. Obviously, if you want to take a peek through our window and see our lovely hair this evening that we were talking about, you can head on over to facebook.com and find Joco Community Radio, JOCO Joco Community Radio. You can also watch live right now on YouTube. We are also streaming on YouTube as well. Just search for Joco Community Radio as well there. And I'm not sure if they put us live onto Twitter yet because I haven't had a chance to. Hey, Tish is here. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check to see if it was actually working. And then we're beta on LinkedIn, which I guess that means we're waiting for approval. So we're growing. We're also streaming simultaneously on Spreaker.com. And then all of our shows shoot out to at least 13 different podcast channels. So there's lots of places that you can listen to us and lots of places that you can reshare our shows as a podcast if we share some content with you that you think would be powerful and helpful to someone else. And
well, I just can't wait to find us on YouTube because my little one thinks that YouTube is the bomb. And if she sees me on YouTube,
yes. So
it
just started for the shows this week. I haven't gone and reloaded I haven't gone and loaded like all of our past radio shows onto Joco onto YouTube onto our YouTube channel yet. That's a whole other that's a week or two out maybe unless I hire a new assistant. So if you're looking for a job, you can reach out to me because I am hiring a part-time assistant right now. So
well, because why would all our good ones have to leave and move on?
Well, they have to move on. I mean, he went off to college. I mean, what can we do?
Mine always move off for they're bigger and better, but it's still I'm like, oh, can't get this done now.
I know. Well, I mean, I have Rachel, who works over at the law office too, but I mean, how much more can I put on that girl's lap?
Well, because she's got her hands full with all that crew over there too.
Yes,
Since
she
they keep
does.
adding to the
Yeah.
office over there, they got enough.
Left arm, right arm, and so, and also, if you guys have to leave and can't stay tuned, make sure you come back at 7 p.m. Central Time for No Judgment here with Tish Ross. She'll be on right after us. So, so anyway, let's just kind of dive in. I had to go to my OBGYN today. And this was a follow-up appointment because I've had multiple things happen in the past 3 weeks that kept me from getting my ultrasound. It's all the lovely things that, women don't really want to talk about, but we have to talk about it. I don't really care. I mean, if you're a guy with sensitive ears and you don't want to hear about this type of stuff, I'm so sorry. But this happens on a regular basis.
It's just part of life.
It's a part of keeping the parts of our body fresh and lovely and safe, so that you can
still have fun
with those parts of our body.
We have to stay healthy, though. I mean, part of women's health is we have to take care of ourselves and not ignore signs and feelings and
I had signs and feelings,
so we had to get it all fixed out.
Yeah. Does it sound weird to you?
Just
know
like
that
it was crackling for a second.
It's the mic. It's the it's the headphones. It's not the microphones.
Okay,
so anyway, so I was having some problems, and they found a fibroid. A couple of months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, they found a fibroid. Actually, it may have been more like 5 months. I mean, I've lost some time in between
I feel
here.
like we've had so much going on.
The summer hiatus, like I actually lost, that whole time due to other things. So yeah, I think it was more like 4 or 5 months ago. And we were like, okay, well, we're going to keep an eye on it and see if it, gets any bigger or what it does. Cause it's not the kind that you can just cut off. It's not the kind that's coming into the uterus. Or out into the uterus.
Right.
It's going into the uterus wall, which requires surgery. Well, that sucker has not grown. It's not what's causing more problems. And so now they found another spot in there, and it could be a fibroid. It could be a polyp. And so at this point, and at the age of 48, and I'm very proud to say that I'm 48. It doesn't bother me.
But you're done making babies,
I'm
so let's just
done.
get it out of there.
Yeah, and that's what I said. And my doctor is, Dr. McAlpine is just one of the best doctors ever. And I've been seeing him for 25 years since I moved to Texas, except for the 9 years that I lived in Lubbock. And so he birthed my third child, my youngest. And I've been with him, every minute except for that 9 years. And he's very proactive. He's just a proactive doctor. He doesn't waste any time. He's like, okay, there's something going on here. Let's dive in and see what it is. He knows that, my aunt passed away from ovarian cancer, right, and there's other female history there. So, and that's one of the things I love about him. He doesn't waste any time.
Right.
And so, he goes, so he's sitting there talking to me, he goes, okay. So, and he talks very, very quietly. And he's from South Africa. I mean, they've been here in the States. They've raised all their kids here, and grandkids, and but he just talks very softly, and he has his English accent, and so sometimes, and today was bad. He was really whispering bad, and I was like, I had to try and catch him. Okay,
I'm sorry, could you turn my hearing aid up here?
I gotta get some of my ear, because I'm like, is he talking lower than usual? But it's just who he is. He's just so okay. So he goes, I just think that we need to take it out. We need to take your you need to take your uterus out. And he's showing me a diagram. He goes from here up, this is where we need to do it. We just gotta take it. So we just gotta take it from here up. And I'm going, that looks awfully close to, the parts I want to keep. But he's just putting his hand on it it's nothing. So I'm like, yeah, I'm down. I'm good with it. Because he goes, he goes, there's just nothing more we can do. I mean, you shouldn't be, this shouldn't be happening to you. The other part, I should not be having a cycle. I was trying to find the
PC
way of saying it, because I've had an ablation, and I should not be, should not be happening to me. And so he goes, there's really nothing more I can do for you other than, let's just take it out. I was like, well, I can keep my ovaries, right? Because there's nothing wrong with them. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, we won't touch those. He goes, no, we'll just take that out. I'm like, I'm good with it. I don't need any other options. Just that's fine. Can
we do it today? Let's go.
I'm like, let's do it. I'm like, let's just do it. I don't I'm not having any more babies. I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, Todd can't have any more. I mean, he had the snip snip done.
Yep.
Snip snip hooray. So I mean that's way off of our,
That's all
and
right.
and people who I've offered to carry babies for in the past. I mean, that ship has sailed. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So
We're
so
done
we're gonna
by now.
take it out. And he goes, but it's gonna have to be a while, because I am leaving tomorrow for a 10-day river cruise on the Rhine.
Oh,
And
I'm
yes,
so jealous.
I'm really jealous too, because I don't have any desire to do like a big cruise ship, but I want to do a river cruise in Europe. Like that's
Yeah.
what I want to do. So, and he's hitting all of these places. It's just really cool. So it's just always like a really cool conversation to have with him, at any point, because he's just one of the coolest people. His wife works in the office. His daughter, back when I first moved to Texas, his daughter worked there too. She
Okay.
was a nurse, and then she started having babies, and that was it. So it's just always been, they've never updated the decor. It's still from.
It's not important.
It's not. I mean, and it doesn't even matter. It's just, it's always one of those things. There is there is, when you lay down in one of the rooms in his office, there is a poster of a cat on the ceiling.
That's funny.
And I didn't notice it for years. I only noticed it a few years ago, and I just died. I was like, how long has that been up there? Did you just put that up there? He goes, they're like, that's been up there for years. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
So I was trying to think. I'll have to ask Jamie. I don't think there's any posters on the ceiling where we go now, but there's been a few posters in the past of places that we've been, and I just keep thinking, did they buy those posters at their kids' book fair? Because they remind me of the Scholastic posters
Yes,
that the kids get
that's
at the book
exactly
fair.
what it is.
It's like,
It's that size.
yes.
But it's a cat. I honestly can't think of what it says, but it's like a feel good kind of thing. And it just, I mean, it just cracks me up.
Well, I'm gonna have to go. I go Monday, so I have to look on the ceiling. Our doctor's office has because our doctor still delivers babies, or the doctor. We go to the PA, but I heard the doctor delivers babies. So the walls are just covered in pictures of
All the babies.
and Christmas pictures and all that kind of stuff. So I'm constantly scanning the baby pictures, because who doesn't like looking at cute babies?
It's the hallway has every baby he's ever delivered
Oh, that's
on
awesome.
it, which is really, really cool. So you know what you should do though? It would be really funny. So is your doctor's office, are the ceilings like really high? Like, could you stand on the bed and reach the ceiling?
I can't stand on the bed and reach the ceiling.
Okay,
of my
well, sorry.
house.
Can
Okay?
Jamie reach
She's
the
not
ceiling?
going. She's not going with me this Monday, but she probably can.
So
we should stick a poster up there.
Yes, and see how long it takes them to notice.
Anybody
it.
to
Would
notice
you just
it?
die?
Yeah.
They would probably. I mean, that would probably be really cool.
We
thing.
normally go together, but I've had some other stuff going on this year, so I've had to. I've made umpteen dozen extra trips this year by myself. And every time I go, they're like, "Where's Jamie? Where's Jamie? Where's Jamie?" And I'm like, "It's not her time to go. It's not her." I'm the one that drew the slot for all the extra appointments this
I'm
year.
here.
Right? Like I drew all the extra slots this year.
Can we focus on the vagina in the room, please?
Right.
Okay, it's mine. So anyway, I mean, funny conversation I had with the tech who did, I don't know their title, is so terrible. Because she's, obviously very educated as well, who did the internal exam, the internal sonogram. And so we were having a conversation about pain, like people who come in and complain when they get the internal one and go, she goes, yeah, some women will just, flinch up and they're so terrified of it, like it's, going to really hurt. And she goes, now I've never had one. And I'm looking at her like, you've never had one of these? Like, but I guess she's fully healthy and nothing's ever happened.
Yeah.
I've had tons of them.
Right.
But first trimester of a pregnancy, that became the thing. They, always use that to look around. So
Right.
I'm like, I don't find it painful at all.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe once or twice, maybe when I had a cyst or something. And so, we're just having that type of conversation, while I'm, feet are up in the stirrups, and
Oh, how funny.
she's got a wand inside of me and checking things out. So it's
Hey.
nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
I think for
it's
some
just
people,
a thing.
I think for some people, I think there are parts of it that are uncomfortable. And I do realize that people's threshold of pain is different. Some people, can handle more than other people. but I talked to a girl the other day that was going in to have one of the little, biopsies done. And I've had that done multiple times. And no, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. And, you don't like wish to have them done. But the doctor that she was going to had really hyped it up before she went in to have it. So her anxiety level was already so much higher before she ever went in, and it just was, she didn't feel like they were handling things and they didn't explain it well to her. And, he just was using a lot of terminology with her, which, yes, I mean, you're doing this to make sure that there's not something else going on. But what he was leading her to believe was, I mean, we are thinking it is the big thing, and we're going to do this to try to rule something out. And he just had her scared to death. So, I sat down and talked to her, and I was like, honey, I've done this, a couple of times, and I will even go with you if that, if it makes a difference. Like, I'll take off and go with you. I'll be on the phone with you, whatever you want to do. And so after, she didn't, got her calmed down, and she went to the doctor, went, and they explained a lot more to her. And with the knowledge that I had, given her when she got out of there, she told me what they'd said. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to call that a win. I'm going to call it, and she was like, I feel so much better now. But I think, if that's another thing, if you're going to a doctor that you don't feel, if that doctor gives you that much anxiety, then you need to find another doctor that doesn't do that. So, I mean, you can't.
Yeah. I've never had that experience. I mean, honestly, I've just never had that experience where someone scared me to death like that. And, I mean, usually you want to start out with, but I mean, I get what the doctor was trying to do. Let's rule out the least likely things or the worst thing first, right? Let's rule that out first. And Dr. McAlpine did have to do that with me when I was pregnant with Maximus,
Right.
because there was a second spot, and because my aunt had died of ovarian cancer in the family history, he didn't waste any time. He sent me to an oncologist. Well, that oncologist was a jerk. I mean, like the worst bedside manner
Right.
ever. And he basically, in so many words, said, "Well, I see here that your husband's an attorney. So that's probably why Dr. McAlpine panicked and sent you here, because he didn't want to be held liable." And I was like,
Excuse me.
all I could do was look at my sister and go, did he just really say that to me? Like, for real? He goes, "It's too small to even look at." Okay, I'm going to check this doctor off my list, that I will
right?
never come back to this place if I ever have a cancer scare. Good. I'll definitely have to go find somewhere else to go. So super interesting. But anyway, but at least I still, still appreciate the fact that my doctor didn't waste any time, and, he dove in. He,
Well, yeah, that's, I mean,
you know what I mean? He didn't waste any time saying, and let's let it evolve before we start to look to see if it's cancer. Let's let it evolve into worse cancer,
Right,
and
right.
then we'll see if it's cancer. He's just very proactive like that. So, I mean, if I can give any advice on searching for an OBGYN of any type, it is get referrals from your friends, and make sure you find someone who's proactive about your health as you are. You have to be an advocate for your own health,
absolutely,
by the way.
absolutely. And but I think that's a lot of us don't. I mean, a lot of people don't. If you go to somebody and you don't, if you're not comfortable with them, then you need to move on.
Yeah.
So
I'm so comfortable with Dr. McAlpine that years ago, I was like, he's like, "So are you doing a regular self, breast exam at home?" And I, think I maybe was in my, 30s. And I said, "Well, yeah, but I'm already kind of lumpy, so I really don't know what I'm looking for anymore." And he goes, "Okay." And he opens the drawer and he pulls out a fake boob. And it's flat on the bottom. And then it's a boob, and then it's this rubbery boob. It was like, well, actually one of my favorite. They ended up giving it to me.
Right. My sister has one of those.
He gave that one to me, because I had to have him show it to me multiple times. I was like, "Oh, okay. All right. Yeah." It's still,
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention. I just, I'm due for my mammogram now, and I'm going to go get it. My last year's was clear, and, I expect this one to be clear too. And so, have you had a BRCA1 test?
I've not had that one.
Okay. But do you don't have it in your family?
No.
So I have had that, and I was negative for it. So
That's good.
that's a positive.
But
But it doesn't mean you're.
Do you know? So I do know somebody that's had the BRCA test, and ended up making the choice to have the complete mastectomy. I need to reach out to her and get her to come on
Yeah,
and explain to us. I mean, she's super young.
Well, it's Angelina Jolie did it.
Yeah. So this girl's young and just felt like this was a time in her life, and she did it actually before she was married, and still went on to be married. And I'll reach out to her and see if she'll come on and
Yeah, I'd love
is
to
it
talk to her.
because if we can, I think knowledge is power. The more knowledge we can get out there, then the better off we are.
Well, I think too, talking to someone like that who their BRCA1 test was positive for it, not positive for cancer, but they were
The gene, yes.
for the gene, that you're still susceptible, even when you get a mastectomy, you're still susceptible to getting other female.
Right.
And so I'm very curious to see if she's being very proactive still and paying attention to that.
Yeah.
And making sure that she's getting her ovaries checked on a regular basis and her uterus. The family, some of the family history that shows up in my family from further down the line in my dad's side.
Cervical cancer, and it came up really quickly. I'm trying to think. I think it was around, like, the whole family was at the house over, like, Easter, I want to say. It's been a while, and I've had a lot of
As low as
things.
16.
Sorry, that was me.
I've had a lot of life things happen since then, but I want to say the whole family was at the house at Easter, and they noticed that she, like, she was trying to say something to the kids, and for you, it would be like if you were looking at Maximus, you would say, like, Mackenzie, Maverick, what, like, she couldn't get the right kid's name out and kind of got flustered with something, and the girls were like, "That's kind of weird." Well, she just started getting these headaches and stuff like that, and by, I want to say, June, so from April to June, March to June, she passed away. But she had cervical cancer. By the time that they found it, it was too late. But she had gotten to the, I'm past childbearing age, or past, I'm too old to do any of this kind of stuff. So she wasn't educated enough to know, or she hadn't been educated to know that she still needed to be going and having checkups. I mean, basically, she was just like, okay, I'm done. Like, no checkups anymore. And she died with cervical cancer.
So, squirrel for just a minute. So I forgot to turn put my watch on vibrate, and up pops, hi, this is a reminder that you have an appointment with Lori Moore on October 20th. And I was like, that's so crazy, because I was going to ask her tonight about, hey, can I get on the schedule?
You
That I
already
didn't even know I was on the schedule.
You already have an appointment, because if you don't have one, then you're not getting in. You were already given your
I just
appointments.
forgot that we did it the last time.
You're already given your appointments, because there's not much left for the end of the year.
That's not a bad problem to have.
It is not a bad
as
problem
a business owner.
It is not.
Right? I mean, you're packed.
And I'm so excited. I can announce that I hired somebody new to do men's haircuts, but I can't just.
You still can't say who.
I can't say who it is just yet, but it's coming quick. So I'm so
know.
excited. We are so excited to add somebody to our family, and she gives us super good vibes, and we're super excited. And I'll get her to come on one night with us and talk about herself. And
let's do that.
yeah, I'm super
I'm
excited
about it.
Yeah. To add a little, normally we're about the bombshell and the women and all that kind of stuff, but a lot of our families are busy. They like to do things together, and we have a lot of husbands that tend to wait while their wives are getting hair done.
I mean, it makes it easier anyway. Like if I can get my hair done and get Maximus's haircut done at the same time, and then Todd pick him up and take him home, because mine obviously takes way longer. I mean, hey, and for me, it's not even just about that. It's I want to be able to support your business in every aspect I can possibly do that. So, right. I mean, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I come? Bring my kid or my husband, which he doesn't have that problem since he's bald.
No, I'm about simplifying life. I was just explaining to I was talking to my Uber driver today, because I had to get new tires put on my car this morning, and Jamie took me and dropped me off, and then they didn't get done until after she went to work, and like it was just so I had to go anyway. But I was like, I ordered groceries online because it saves me money, and I got 12 other things done at home while I was getting doing stuff. So I'm about easy. Make it easy.
That it does make it easy.
Yeah.
And I would say, okay, my husband's bald, but I would love for him one of these days to just, like after he comes back from the deer lease, because he won't shave his head or
Right.
anything while he's gone. In fact, 2 weeks ago when he went, he did not shave for like 2 days before he left.
He came back looking way shaggy.
Oh no. And he wanted to keep the beard. And I was like, no, this not staying on your face. Like,
No.
I don't care what you think, is his goatee was, still longer. And then he shaved this down and he shaved his cheeks down and left his goatee. And I was like, no. I'm like, no, I don't like how it looks at all. It's terrible. I'm serious. I'm like, I just do not like it. I'm like, I don't like it.
We get such a certain vision. We get used to seeing them the same way all the time.
Oh.
I mean, my wife has a pink mohawk right now. So
yeah, no, this doesn't work on him. It does not work on him. And so it would be nice that the next time he does that he actually go and take advantage of a barber.
Oh yeah.
And go enjoy that. Let someone else shave your head. He doesn't trust me to do it. And personally, I don't trust myself. I'm like, oh my God, that's all I need to do is, cut his head or his neck. I mean, I'll do touch up for him, like if he misses behind his ear a little bit or something, and I'll check for that type of stuff. And
he's probably so used to doing it now. I mean, most of the ones that I know that wear their head shaved all the time, it's just second nature, like us shaving our legs.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just,
Yeah.
Get it all done.
Yeah. He does it in the shower.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can see the window. You could see the mirror, over the shower,
Right.
but, I mean, he's been shaving his head since before we got married.
Yeah.
I mean, 22 years ago, I think was the first time he did it. And we just like 3 strokes in and he's like, this is not good. This is not good. And I came in there. I'm like, yes, it is. And you're already 3 in, so you can't stop. So keep on going. And so, I mean, yeah, he's great at it, but still there's times where I'll catch it where he's missed, a little something or whatever. But anyway, I don't even know how we went down that road about his hair, his facial hair.
We were talking about barbers.
But anyway, he ended up shaving it off because he goes, oh, I didn't do this good at all. And I was like, yes, God.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, whatever excuse you want to use, you did that because I wanted you to do that.
You didn't look good. I was trying to tell you.
All right. Well, we're going to go to break here in just a few seconds and come back and talk more about women's boobies and other stuff like that, mental health and, cool stuff here on the Bombshell. Stay with us.
Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog.
I'm Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog. When I get the hankering for a hot dog, I go to Cleveland, Texas. Just a couple blocks off the square, they got Loafing Dog. They got the Neely Dog, the Mary Sunshine Dog, the Casey Dog, and the Shirley Dog. Why, they even got the Pacer Dog, the Brooklyn Dog, and the Jim Dog. Can't forget the Shane Dog, or the Joy Dog, and the Monty Dog. I like that fool. The Nakia Dog and the Braxton Dog round things off. Why, they even got a kids menu too.
Loafing Dog, 208 East Chambers Street, Cleveland, Texas. Lunch, catering, or takeout, plus outdoor seating. Phone number is 817-556-1040.
This is Wilfred Brimley. And don't forget, Loafing Dog won't give you diabetes.
Out of dead carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family-owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the second half of the Bombshell. I'm Tiffany Carlin with Lori Moore here on Joco Community Radio. We are the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen, you can simply go to tuneinjoco.com where you can download the free app, or you can listen live right there on our website. We are also streaming simultaneously on Spreaker.com with select shows like this one, streaming to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and soon to be on LinkedIn as well. All of our shows can also be found on any one of your favorite podcast platforms, such as Spotify and iTunes. Check out our lineup and more at jococommunityradio.com. Thanks again for tuning in. This episode and more are brought to you by Next Level Claims, making your insurance work for you. Go to facebook.com/Next Level Claims and get them in your corner before the next storm hits. Also brought to you by the Bombshell here in Burleson. That's right. Lori is the amazing owner of the Bombshell, where you can go and get pampered, get your hair taken care of, your lashes, your eyebrows in a really beautiful setting. It's very classy and comfortable, and sit back and have a glass of wine, a cocktail, or a beer, and just have a good time. It's one of my favorite places to go, actually. Bougie. It's very bougie. Bougie. We got very bougie, sophisticated, giant chandeliers that I want to take off the ceiling and take home to my house. But
we have giant mirrors and
yes, but give them the website so that they know.
We have a Facebook page. We've
Well,
got to get a
tell them
web
where to
on it.
go to the Facebook page so that they can book an appointment.
The Bombshell Salon in Burleson.
There you go. That's where you can find her on Facebook. And also brought to you by Tiffy, thetiffy.com, thetiffy.com, which is Tiffy sleeves. You got to get some Tiffy sleeves and turn a short sleeve shirt into a long sleeve shirt without attaching it to your clothing.
I know.
Or get
this is the time of year for those.
Yes,
we need
this
to
is
bring
the best
some
time.
we need to bring some in the salon.
We will. Yeah, we do need to do that. That would be awesome. And also the Forever Scarf, which can be worn more than 40 different ways and get you from season to season. This is one of my businesses and my invention. And I'd love for you to shop with me. It's a woman-owned business and made in the USA completely. So go to the THETIFFIE.com and check out everything that we have. If you've got questions, just reach out to me. I'd like to say through Facebook, but that page is down right now, so you can't go to that page. That's a whole nother story that we're not talking about.
We're not going to that one today.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you haven't seen pink all over the place, and or just heard people talking about boobies, more boobies and boobies and more boobies, you got to check yourself. You got to get your you got to go get your mammogram. I'm due for my mammogram, and I can seriously tell you they're nothing like they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago or even 10 years ago. I mean, and even the first one I had, I guess it's been 15 years ago, maybe around 15 years ago, because I was living in Lubbock when we first had that. And she actually thought she felt something in my nipple. And so that's why I had to go. But there was nothing.
That's crazy.
So, there was nothing. I was like, okay, great. And then
I have scar tissue in mine from surgery, underarm deal. So they have to mark it up and do little extras on it every once in a while.
Do they? So, I mean, that one was no big deal. And then, yes, I did wait a little. I did not do the 40-year-old, one. I did not. And it's not that I was avoiding it. It was just, this was going on and this was going on. And I have 3 kids and businesses. And so I had my, my next one was just last year.
So it's totally,
and it was all good.
What's totally screwed us up is like the, pandemic shutdown of things. We had all our stuff set where, female doctors, mammograms were like, one was 1 week, one was the next week, dentist appointment the next week. So it seemed like you had a lot of appointments in a row, but then we were done for the year. And now, because they canceled so many appointments, and then you try to get back in. So we're all over the place with, we get female checkups here and mammograms here and dentist appointments here. And it's like stressing me out. I need to get it back into the, I need to get it back into the all togetherness because it drives me crazy.
The dentist office has been calling me too because I've missed my last cleaning, which was, I think, supposed to be like 6 months ago. But
well, then there's that.
life has been happening, and so
It
it's
is,
like
I know.
I got to put some things into priority.
Yeah.
I'm brushing my teeth and a floss, and it's okay. You guys can calm down. I don't have any pain. I don't have
Right, I'm
teeth
good.
falling out. I'm okay.
We have
we're
that
gonna take
one.
care of the other business first.
Yeah, we have that one. It's coming up in a couple of weeks, but I feel like I've been to the girl doctor a whole lot this year because I had some issues going on that they were checking on too. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to go again and again and again and again and again. And
well, let's say you can't get to go get your mammogram. Let's say right now, or you're scared. Because I know some people are just terrified. It doesn't hurt, ladies. It really doesn't. And I have cystic breasts, which means if I have too much caffeine, those lumps start to hurt like nothing else. I mean, it can be very, very painful. So I actually don't drink anywhere near as much caffeine as I ever did years ago, and I stopped a long time ago.
Meanwhile, I have like 5 shots of espresso over here going on.
That would kill me right now. Because
I know
they just actually hurt right now anyway. So
it's my option right now.
Right. So even if I had to, just schedule it around that. If you have cystic breasts and you have those painful lumps, then you know when that's going to happen. It's PMS time when that starts to kick in.
Right.
So don't schedule your mammogram during that time.
Yep.
And you go in and it's just not that big of a deal.
Just in and out of there so quick.
Yeah. I went to the Fort Worth Women Cancer Center. I can't
Cupperly, Harris downtown. Cupperly.
No, it's not downtown. It's the one. It's Harris Southwest. It's in there, and it's lovely.
Yeah,
it's very, very lovely place. It's not very clinical feeling. And
if you go right now, it's breast cancer awareness, and most of them are all decorated. Where we get our mammograms done at, like this month is the hallways lined with bras that people have decorated. They do a fundraiser thing, so you decorate your bras up and put them in this fundraiser deal, and they try to raise money for breast cancer awareness and stuff. So it's always so cool to go in and see the little sayings and the and the bras that people have decorated up. So
that's
really,
awesome.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah. So if you can't, here's 5 steps to doing a self breast exam. And by the way, this is not just for women.
Oh no.
I mean, really, really have to remind men that you are extremely susceptible to breast cancer. As much as women are. And it really does happen. So you need to be doing self-exams because you don't have I'm going to say the majority of you men do not have a breast large enough to take and put into a mammography machine.
Right.
So you got to pay attention to what's going on because most don't catch it until they're sick.
Well, men are not going to do self-examinations like women do. So.
Right. Well, and I'm going to see.
When you got to count on you kind of got to count.
Well, you still got to feel. You still do feel for the lumps, and you have to go all the way out to the armpit. And if I'll have to pull it up, or maybe you can pull it up while I'm talking about this part of it. But if I remember correctly, a lot of men's will show up in their armpit, in their underarm. So, but the 5 steps for self-exam. Step 1: begin by looking at your breasts in the mirror with your shoulders straight and your arms on your hips. Here's what you should look for. Breasts that are their usual size, shape, and color. Breasts that are evenly shaped without visible distortion or swelling. If you see any of the following changes, bring them to your doctor's attention. Dimpling, puckering, or bulging of the skin. A nipple that has changed position or an inverted nipple, which means it's pushed inward instead of sticking out. Redness, soreness, rash, or swelling. Because there are different types of breast cancer, and those rashes and outside soreness is a different type of breast cancer. So it's definitely something that you want to pay attention to. Step 2: now raise your arms and look for the same changes. So you're going to do it. Step 1 all over again, but with your arms raised in the air, and you could clasp your hands together and hold your hands. Step 3: while you're at the mirror, look for any signs of fluid coming out of one or both nipples. This could be a watery, milky, or yellow fluid or blood. I gotta say, I did not know that. And so, I mean, and because I think a lot of women, especially if you're in the age area to where you're still having babies, you might think that you're lactating.
Or yeah,
I mean,
something.
because like after you have a baby and then you're, you know, let's say you're 2 months out of breastfeeding and you're trying to dry up, and then someone will come along, you'll hear a baby crying, and you lactate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That used to happen to me
So
all the time.
that was one of the main signs for the men's one that I'm reading here right now. It was talking about nipple changes and nipple discharge. So men don't typically have nipple discharge. So if you notice that, then you need to look into that. And it also says it's more typical in older men, but not excluding younger men too. So just
don't count yourself.
Don't count
yourself out
right.
if you're younger.
And you can still be tested for the BRCA gene. Men can still be tested for the BRCA gene too. So there's all different kinds. I mean, basically, there's kind of suits. I mean, falls in along with everything we do. But theirs is really going to be. I mean, if they've got nipple discharge, there's no reason for them to have nipple discharge like women have. So definitely get it checked out.
I mean, I really did not know about the discharge part, or I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
Step 4. Next, feel your breast while lying down, using your right hand to feel your left breast and then your left hand to feel your right breast. Use a firm, smooth touch with the first few finger pads of your hand, keeping the fingers flat and together. Use a circular motion about the size of a quarter. Cover the entire breast from top to bottom, side to side, from your collarbone to the top of your abdomen, and from your armpit to your cleavage. Follow a pattern to be sure that you cover the whole breast. You can begin at the nipple, moving in larger and larger circles until you reach the outer edge of the breast. You can also move your fingers up and down vertically in rows as if you were mowing a lawn. This up and down approach seems to work best for most women. Interesting, because I've always done this. I've always done the circular. Yeah. Be sure to feel all the tissue from the front to the back of your breast. For the skin and tissue just beneath, use light pressure. Use medium pressure for tissue in the middle of your breast, and use firm pressure for the deep tissue in the back. When you've reached the deep tissue, you should be able to feel down to your rib cage. So I've honestly never even read it to this in depth, because I'm laying on the table at the doctor's office and going, yep, feels the same every time he does it. Like he does it in the same way every single time. Soft hands, by the way. And it's just one of those things
you would have to have.
I mean, don't you think about that? Like when you're there with your OBGYN, whether it's a man or a woman, and it's the same one you've been seeing for years and years.
It's just very methodical,
Yes.
Like
you know what to expect. And I mean, don't you ever think things like that? Like, yep, same. Yep, his hands are just as soft as they've always been every time. I mean, and it's not any other kind of weird, thought process. It's just that
like man hands though.
Yeah. Or, like I said, I'm looking up and going, oh, there's a pussycat on the ceiling. That's interesting.
Scholastic.
Step 5, finally feel your breasts while you're standing or sitting. Many women find that the easiest way to feel their breasts is when their skin is wet and slippery. So they like to do this step in the shower. Cover your entire breast using the same hand movements described in step 4. Oh, again, that's not a step I ever
Oh,
knew.
you never heard to do it in the shower?
No.
Oh, yeah. Because it's
But I mean, I have.
Yeah, it's easier for your hands to glide around on it. So
Yeah. Oh, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If you want to read these instructions, these 5 steps yourself, you can go to breastcancer.org, and it will literally take you right to the breast self-exam. So super, super important to do the breast self-exam. I'm saying that to you as I am saying it to myself, because I am bad at doing that. Yeah. I'm just like, oh,
well, but again, the thing is, that's one of some things we talk about. We get busy, so we forget. But we forget as wives and moms and bosses, that if we don't take care of ourselves, then who else is going to take care of our spouses and our kids and our businesses? And our health is important.
Right.
So we got to take care of all of it. Our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health.
Well, I mean, this is part of it too. I mean, especially with, mental health. I mean, it's just so key. I mean, it is just the key to everything. And honestly, when I think when a lot of women are not in the right emotional or mental state, then they're not taking care of themselves. And I'm speaking from not my own experience, but someone that I care very much about, who's kind of in that state. And I was just talking to another mutual friend because we're very concerned about her, and because she hasn't, he actually asked her, he goes, well, when's the last time you had a mammogram? And she was like, oh, 29 years ago, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
But that just shows you how quickly you can you can just deteriorate when your mental emotional state is
Well, and I
not in the
think
right
too,
place.
right. And I think, too, like when you're in a bad mental state and you go, okay, well, I'm not going to get a mammogram right now or get my teeth cleaned or whatever. And then like 6 months goes by and you're like, okay, man, I'll do it. Well, then a year goes by and you haven't done it. And then you're like, I mean, I've already waited this long. Like what? Nothing's, okay, nothing's hurt, nothing's broke, don't fix it. And then you just get to the point where you're like, now it's gone on so long. Like I'm embarrassed to go in and to say, I haven't had a mammogram or I haven't had a pap smear or haven't had my teeth cleaned, because then we have to hold our own selves accountable that we allowed ourselves to, in some ways, how we feel we failed ourselves. Like we don't want the accountability of saying, gosh, I didn't take care of myself, because then it becomes real. It's,
Mm.
and women tend to think that we have to be so strong that we can't ask for help if we need help. We think we're supposed to be stronger, and we don't want to help. We don't want to ask for help.
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
I mean, really just going to the point of saying women don't want to ask for help. Do you think it's that idea of, I don't want to burden someone else? Because I truly have not been in that place
Right.
in the past
I do.
6
I think
months.
there's
I've really relied on my friends.
Right. But I think there's a difference in, without going into what has been going on in your life, did you still find yourself, you knew who you could pick up the phone and talk to, whether it was, I need to cry or I need help or, anything else. But you also knew you found yourself going, oh, I can't say anything to this person because I feel like they're going to judge me, or they're going to talk about me, or they're going to, I don't need it out there, and I don't need them telling other people.
Definitely.
So, and I think that's one of the reasons why women, we immediately feel like we're going to be judged if we ask for help, or if we, and that's not, we should learn to be a better support system for each other, instead of being the person that goes in, instead of tells. And the only way we can do that is by being, an example to people, and, to let people know, like, if you need help with any of these issues, like reach out and we'll help you find the resources that you need. There's a ton of resources. And sometimes, I know my sister and I, different times we haven't seen eye to eye. And one of the things that we used to do, like we would call each other, and we would immediately, because we're sisters, we would immediately be like, okay, well, here's what I would do to fix it. And then we would get in an argument about it, because it wasn't necessarily what she needed or I needed. And so we came up with hey, I'm calling, but I need you to listen, or I need your advice, or I need to know what you would do. And sometimes I need you to listen would turn into, okay, well, what do you think I should do? But we've got to learn to, we instead of just, listening, it's hearing. We have to actually hear what this person is asking us, and to be present and be present in people's life. So, and it is sometimes like, sometimes, like you said, like you didn't know all the steps to the, to the breast cancer, or, to breast exam. And instead of people saying, oh gosh, I can't believe you didn't know that one. I mean, yeah, this is a super easy way. So to share our knowledge, in a way that, well, I didn't know it. So because I didn't know it, let me help you, and let me share with you the details of the things that I do know.
Well, I mean, communication with your friends. I mean, if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you can't possibly ever grow.
No,
right.
no.
And I mean, I am not the smartest person in the room.
Oh, no.
I thank God I have the right tribe around me that I can reach out to for
I think
advice.
we all have our different. I mean, we all have our different strengths and weaknesses. That
Absolutely.
and that's what it is. I mean, as a conglomeration, we make a pretty good team. But no, everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses.
I mean, even I was talking to somebody else today about that as well, and it's sometimes it's not even just the people that you have in your circle, but sometimes the people who end up in your circle, like right now there's so much going on that I'm being connected with these different people,
Mhm.
right, who I'm learning from, but at the same time I'm helping them,
Right.
with a step up or whatever way you want to do it. But it's just something bigger is happening here. Actually, it was Shelly. Is my phone in here? Because yes, she actually sent me something, and this this really kind of says that too. And first of all, I mean, you got to know who your tribe is, and who's in, you know and it doesn't have to mean that everybody in your immediate tribe circle is the person that you're going to reach out to necessarily for stuff. I mean, I have my main three, other than my sisters that I turn to.
Right.
You are one of them. And so, but beyond that, I have other people who are so incredibly knowledgeable, who bring peace and center me. I'm just going to throw her name out there because she's in the other room anyway. But Tish Ross is one of those people.
Yes.
I mean, she brings peace. She brings peace to my space, and she's very knowledgeable. So there's things that I've been able to pull from her too and learn from.
When I think we forget to notice, not forget, we don't often realize that a tribe is big. A tribe is, a chief and a lot of sub chiefs, and and it's a bigger. It's not just one person. And so I think especially when we go through a turmoil or a tragedy, we find people stepping up that we're like, I actually didn't even realize that you were a part of my tribe. Like people step up and come in that you wouldn't, if you had to start acknowledging, you might not have acknowledged that person. And
Right.
and we have to learn to be thankful for those people too.
Oh, big time.
So,
all right. So this was something actually that Shelly had sent me. And it says, eventually you realize God was connecting the dots all along. And it's this graphic of connecting, all these dots connecting to each other, because that's one of those things that's happening right now. And, I'm being led to this person, and this person's being led to that person. And, the dots are just all coming back together. And I mean, it goes along with that saying too, that, you're, and it's the truth, you're 6 degrees of separation from everybody.
oh,
And
absolutely.
you really, really are. But it's that, now take that and put it into the context of, I'm 6 degrees of separation from all of these people that I could help, but that are also helping me.
Right.
And I mean, it's kind of, looking at the, how your system works, your body works, and your brain works. I mean, everything connects together to keep it working. And when something's not working and you're not taking care of it, and again, it goes, kind of circles back to the whole health conversation in general.
Well, we forget when we like to give. I mean, you and I especially, we're givers. We like to give. We don't like to receive very often. So you have to learn. You have to learn when someone's trying to give to you to accept that, because that's the only way you're going to keep your gas tank full enough to be able to give back. And that's often very hard for us to do.
It is.
So
it is hard to do, and it's not. It's just because I don't know. I don't know, because you're just in it when you're in it, and it's hard to ask for help sometimes. I mean, I was in a position when it all started that I had to ask for help. I mean, I was in another country.
Well, and and the thing is, we were thrust into something that none of us had ever dealt with before.
Right.
So we really didn't. I mean, we were all scrambling as fast as we could scramble. So, I mean,
and I mean, it worked out. I mean, couldn't have done it couldn't not have gone through what we went through without everybody. So, again, gratitude. And if you're not living daily in gratitude, I can tell you that's seriously infecting your entire mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. I mean, you have to live in a moment of gratitude. And find in every day you can find something to be grateful
Right.
for. And I mean, it begins first thing in the morning when you woke up again. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, to
And to
not
live
turn
in,
and just say thank you God for giving me another day, another chance at this,
right.
you know, to make it right or to be better, to do more.
But to live in this moment. I mean,
Yeah.
yesterday is gone. I mean, 5 minutes ago is gone.
It's my ringtone.
What's that?
Don't stop thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac. I mean, and it's true. You have to think about that. You have to think about tomorrow. Yesterday's gone.
Mhm.
Yesterday's gone.
Yep.
And you cannot change what happened
Nope.
yesterday. You can only move forward. And if you're stuck in that, oh man, that sucks. And not to say that I haven't been there.
Oh no, we all have, and
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. We're allowed, we're allowed to slip up. We're allowed to have a bad day. We're allowed to have a bad week. I mean, we're allowed, but when we recognize it and we want to move forward, then we want to move forward. So, and then it's it's hard sometimes, but you just keep moving forward.
So, and speaking of that, I do have something hanging here in the radio station, and it says, "Today's a new day. You can start fresh, wipe the slate clean, begin again. Today, you can embrace kindness, work for the common good, practice compassion, stand up for justice, listen with your whole heart, offer hope, love well." Go for it. Aspire for more, make a difference, be the change you wish to see in the world. You don't have to remain, if you don't like who you were yesterday, by the way, or if you don't like how you treated someone yesterday, you can change that
That's right.
the next day.
Yep.
I mean, you really can.
Yep.
And you can also look back on yourself and go, oh, that was a little shitty.
Yeah.
But I can be better than that
Yep.
because I am. We all have moments.
Absolutely.
We all have moments. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us here in the Bombshell. Make sure you check out your boobies and take care of yourself. We'll see you back here next Monday night at 6 p.m. Central Time on Joco Community Radio. Stay tuned for No Judgment here with Tish Ross. Bye.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.